eligible quality in there. And they said, no, we won't do it till we can get that new batch. Wow. So I was like, okay. Then all of a sudden we had a story that we could tell people, but that's why we stocked out a LifePak during the pandemic. I mean, nobody does that. And unfortunately, they also didn't do a good job of telling people that why they did that. We just have to do that because nobody really knows. You had to dig.
Understand.
And then I started saying, okay, this is why that machine makes sense. For instance, that machine right there on the front is a gas spectrometer that measures 1 part per 50 billion, which is, okay, well, what does that even mean? That means 1 drop of iodine in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, let it filter for an hour, random sample the pool, it will fail that test. But hang on, just let me keep going. Okay, but here's the deal, why do I care? Anybody swam in a public pool recently? You care about 1 drop of iodine in the pool? Is that what you're worried about? But here's the deal, it's called LifePak. For 24 years, I have taken LifePak or LifePak Nano twice a day, every day, for 24 years. I rarely miss. Because I don't have a great diet. I scanned, the first time I got scanned, I was at 14,000 or 140. Okay? The highest I've ever scanned is 80,000 or over 800. Because of the products, not because of my diet. So I continue taking the products. I don't miss. If I'd been doing that for over 20 years, and there were heavy metals or pesticides or herbicides or anything in there, do you think I might be feeling a little bit worse and not better at this point? That to me is just like a huge testament of this stuff works because I don't feel slow. I don't feel like I'm getting older and aging or anything else like other people that I'm around. I can still keep up with my kids. That one machine measures that 1 part per 50 billion for over 300 compounds that they know you shouldn't have in there. Now, here's the deal. If you're a vendor of a raw material, number one, who do you want to sell to? Nu Skin. Anybody ever watch Shark Tank?
Yes.
What does Mr. Wonderful always say? I want the royalty, man. Just let me sit on the beach and collect the royalty. If we created the greatest supplement out there, we start our own company from scratch, or we're going to try to sell it to a company that's got global distribution with over 1 million distributors. I'm going that route, right? Yesterday, we just found out to become a Nu Skin's like 0.05% chance. I'm going the royalty route. But if that's the case, then every vendor's trying to sell this company product. They're coming to this company with product. They also love this company because Nu Skin doesn't take any net terms with any of their sources. You guys realize that? There's no net 15, there's no net 30, there's no net 60. It is money in escrow account. When the product is delivered, we random sample everything ourselves, and when it clears, you get your money. Why do we do that? Because what happened in the pandemic? Pandemic hits, all these sources close, shipping channels tie down. And if you're a source or a vendor that's selling it and you're saying, okay, I could sell it to you, Mo's gonna get it, I'll get paid in 60 days. I could sell it to Alan and I'm gonna get paid in 30 days. I can sell it to Marguerite and I get paid in 15 days, or I can sell it to Nu Skin, I get paid the moment it switches. Yeah. I'm sending everything to Nu Skin. Get as much as they want, keep sending it there. It's how we kept our doors open when other companies were dying. That was huge. That was huge foresight from Blake and Steve and Sandy that happened 20 years ago because they never had loans on any of their product. You go to their warehouse, it's $280 million of product, debt-free, sitting on the shelves, already paid for. You know how rare that is? Wow. That doesn't happen. So you start putting all that together and say, okay, all these sources, all these vendors want to sell to this company, or they're idiots. Hey, but we're only going to we reject 80% of the people that try to sell us product. Then we still find stuff in 20 to 30% of our approved sources and we reject it. We have found E. coli, we have found lead, we have found heavy metals, we have found salmonella, all of that stuff because we're dealing with natural ingredients. And it might not even be the vendor, it could be 2 miles upstream. Yeah. And then one batch is great, the next batch, crap. But if you don't measure yourself, because every single vendor comes with a list that says we have measured for every single thing. You were worried about 500 compounds, here's the list, this one passes. And if you don't have your own lab and your own quality control experts and our ability to do it, you have to take that list and be like, oh, that looks great. And yet we've still found all of that stuff in approved vendors' products. And we've been able to get rid of it. That in and of itself, guys, I wouldn't take from somebody else because they're not doing that. The stability testing, everything else, it's not happening. And then you start putting it together with all the double-blind studies that we have on all of these products. Anybody ever heard of, I was putting together a 6S process presentation, and I wanted it to be different. Instead of just talking about the 6S, I wanted to go through Rishi Max all the way through from inception to consumption and how it touched all 6 parts. And I knew there was a study that the University of Purdue had published in the Journal of Nutraceutical Medicine that said, this is the only Rishi Max product that works. And they named it by name of all of the products they had measured. And they said it doesn't, and it works. I have it. Okay. And it says it works. Not only is the only one that works, but it worked to kill prostate cancer cells in vivo. Okay. And name by name. So I called the company and said, hey, do you have that study? And they said, we have 27 of them. I'm like, what? Why don't you ever tell us this stuff? 27 published peer-reviewed clinicals by the University of Indiana, the University of Purdue on Rishi Max, and it names Pharmanex Rishi Max GLP in the study, breast cancer and prostate cancer. The first time we did that presentation, legal decided to show up to my meeting and sat down in the back next to me. And I was like, I am toast. I am in so much trouble. They said the word cancer over 100 times in this presentation. I was like, and I was sitting there and I got done. I'm sweating. I'm not even presenting and I'm sweating because I was like, they're going to suspend me. They're going to, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm in trouble. And we got done. I said, what'd you think? And they're like, that was perfect. That was awesome. I'm like, what do you mean? They said, you didn't say a single word that wasn't written in the study. We're good. Because that's the difference. Like, everybody's like, oh, you talk to doctors and stuff. Yeah, which means I don't exaggerate anything. Because if I cannot verify it, they're going to call crap on it and it's over in one shot. And so you have to just say exactly what's in the study. And if you read the study, you can say in there, Pharmanex Rishi Max GLP killed breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer cells in test tube and in vivo. Okay, it killed prostate cancer cells in vivo, in test tubes. Here's the studies that lay it out. That's our product, guys. Why does that work? Why is it that it's the only one that works? Because they found the active ingredient of a reishi mushroom. What's the active ingredient? They had to patent the process to crack a spore because that's where it's found. It's not in the stem, it's not in the root, it's not any part of the reishi mushroom at all. The active ingredient called Gammaderma lucidin is in the cracked spore. It's inside the spore. And we patented the process to it, and you have a guaranteed dose in every pill that's there. Wow. T-Green 97 is part of a lot of those same 27 studies. It used to be on prostate-cancer.org as the only product that they say on their site, here's a dosage to cure and a dosage to prevent prostate cancer. Pretty crazy, right?
We're trying to find.
They took that down, but that's why we can't talk about it.
It was never talked about.
But if I read the studies, I can do that. And doctors can say things that I can't say. Okay? Do you guys know that we have product support?
Yeah.
You call the company. I think it's option 2. You go to product support, ask any question you want, and they will give you the answers. And if they don't know it, then they run it up the chain to the PhDs or scientists, and they will give you documentation and answers behind it on all this stuff.
So for the statements you just made for those 27 studies, could we get that from them? And if we did want that,
That's where I got it.
how would you ask for that?
Can you send me all of the published peer-reviewed studies on Rishi Max and T-Green 97?
Thank you.
That's what I'd ask them.
Anti.
Yeah.